Society at large is going to financially reward two basic concepts, and that is you've got the ability to do something that somebody else cannot do, or you've got the willingness to do something that other people are not willing to do. Well, congratulations, because if you are in mortgage or real estate or insurance sales, you get to come up against both those challenges every day for the rest of your career. So let's dissect first things first. The first challenge is being able to do things that others can't do. So how do we start with that? Well, at the end of the day, it's about learning. We have to have professional expansion, and we have to understand what we need to do in order to get results. Now, the easiest way to do this is behavior modeling. Other people who are working in your profession are successful. All you have to do is watch what they do and realize that's probably a reasonable place to start. So maybe you've identified a couple of people that you have respect for, they're in your industry, and you latch onto them, and they teach you the business. And it works. You find some sort of a baseline activity, and some of the things they tell you seem to make sense, and so you implement those, and it works. And that's great. You're moving forward, and you establish some kind of a baseline. So you've gone from maybe utter and total confusion to some kind of, I'm going to figure it out, to some kind of normalcy. So the challenge at this point is now that you've settled into normalcy or some sort of a normal behavior, it doesn't necessarily align with continuous improvement thinking. And so normalcy bias really is an enemy of your continued learning. If you don't break out of this way of thinking, the ultimate expression, and it's horrible, is when you stumble across someone like myself who says, I've been at this for 30 years. Well, great. You've been at it for 30 years. Big deal. And so have you improved? Have you tried something new? Or have you just done the same thing over and over and over again? And so 30 years of experience, maybe you've just repeated one year 30 times and you haven't really broken out into that more efficient space where you're in a continuous improvement and growth mindset, where you're letting go of the things that don't work, you're adopting new things that do work, and you're experimenting a little bit in between. Doesn't mean you're in chaos, doesn't mean you let go of things that are working. Far from it. What you're trying to do is you're going to take 80%, 90% of your time, and you're going to execute on the basics that you know are absolutely essential for you to make money in your industry. You're going to have to take 10 or 15, maybe even 20% of your time and do something different. And that is, I need to learn a new skill. I need to read a book. I need to get a little bit sharper. I need to acquire a skill. I need to reach out and, honestly, I'm going to reach out and have coffee with someone in this industry that I respect. So even though I started that way and I've established some sort of a comfort, it doesn't mean I want to get too comfortable in understanding and thinking that I know everything, because for gosh sakes, you don't. And even if you did know everything, situations are constantly changing and you're going to be left behind. All right, so that means the first part of this lesson's in the can, and that is you need to be able to do things that other people can't do. And this is the pursuit of mastery, and the pursuit of mastery means what? Being able to establish a baseline and then being able to take your proficiency up to an 80% of your time commitment, where the other 20% of your time commitment is focused on continuous improvement. Great. Here is the second part of this lesson, and that is having a willingness to do the sort of things that other people are not willing to do. Now, I'm going to submit for your consideration that for many of this is the biggest challenge that we're going to face in our profession, because we're going to get into a place where we're generating income, things are going great, we have mastery, and maybe we add a different skill, or maybe we change our business model. And that is, I'm a top producer for several years. I know what I'll do. I'll start a team. Great. Now you have a team. Team dynamics is very different. Now you start managing. You start learning that skill set, right? You take that 20% and you start adding to, what do I need to do to be a great team leader? Take it to the next spot. Hey, I'm going to open my own company. Great. So now a whole different skill set. You've taken 80% of your baseline, right, which is paying your bills and keeping you, sustainable. And then the succession plan is the 20% of your time, I'm going to learn that new thing. Boom. Got it. So here's the issue. the willingness to do things that other people are just not willing to do. Okay, the picture's not that bleak. Here's the solution. Number one, which you don't want to hear, discipline. You're going to have to maintain a certain amount of discipline so that you're doing the things you got to do to get done when you got to get them done. Now, the other good thing is you've been in business for a while. Hopefully, you've been able to achieve some baseline understanding. You have probably a couple more dollars in the bank now than when you started. So this means you should be able to outsource much more efficiently and much more easily at this point. I would hope over the time you've been in the business, you've been able to establish system and process and system and process. Some of these things need to start going away. You need to start offsourcing that to a team member, a subordinate, an assistant, or a vendor. If you do this, then what you're going to be able to do is focus on the thing that you're really good at, that brings you the most joy, but then also generates income, and now you're sustainable. Please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, visit our website and schedule your free 30-minute evaluation.